Hello and howdy, and welcome back to City Skylines 2, and welcome to episode 5 of Detailers Guide. I have created many parks and lakes throughout my time in City Skylines 2, and each one gets better than before. And I am here to share the knowledge and wisdom I have gained by doing so. Buckle in, we are going on a detailing journey. But before we start, I just want to say if you enjoy this video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content like these. And a huge thank you to these for supporting via Patreon. And thank you for watching the video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of it. Let's start with parks. So over here we have some spaces that I emptied out. It's right in between our massive suburban neighborhood down below and Burnaby inspired community center above. Usually there is no particular way of doing things, but I like to do it this way. So first things first, setting up the boundary of our park, which will let us know how much area we are working with. So let's pick up any one of the tall hedges and just make a rough boundary on the sides and back side of the park. We're going to place it in the front of the side, but it's gonna be later on, so just gotta wait. Most of us now will start making the pathways for Sims to walk, but I would like to place surfaces first. So we have got Gaga XM's ground surfaces, which have a ton of grass, ground, fallen leaves and flower and rock surfaces. I will like to start with the ground texture, and I will start here to demonstrate something to you later on. But for now, basically just cover the whole park with this surface. After placing, this is how it will look, but I will top this off with a grass surface. Yes, I know you would be thinking it makes no sense to cover the surface below with a full opaque surface on top. It will hide it. Well, yes and no. So you see, this is how the surface is looking right now. Feels normal, but watch carefully as I delete the ground surface underneath. You see, it was showing through the grass, very subtle, but it adds a little variation to just plain green grass. Now we are going to add some fallen flower surfaces. So in the grass section, we have these fallen flower surfaces ranging from dense to least dense. So I will place the least dense version of white and pink flowers over here, and you can see how they look. Also at the same time, I will add some rocks here too. I don't think big rocks will make any sense for a park, so out of all these options I will choose one which is fine texture, yet it will show very little bit just for that tiny bit of detailing. Now we want this park to be functional, and noting the props in the game don't work like they do in the first game, we will add a few big parks over here, and these two parks will act as gates to the park, and a third one can be on the right. Now we will look through some of the options we have for potential pathway for the park from El Gendo's Dirty Road pack, and well, all are good option, but something makes me love this old stone type of pathway, and I think this could be a really good option. So we are going to start from the right and make our third and the last entrance to the park, and sort of extend it following the park shape and connect it with the functional parks and fill the pathways with this one too, as the surface kind of hides them, and in no time we will have this type of layout. And now we can place the hedges on the front side of the park. Now that we have established the entrances, and I will be placing it slightly behind the road, leaving a tiny gap between hedges and the roadside. We have some space here because we are going to be placing residential fence here in front of it, not only adding additional barrier and safety, but also it will make the fence pop a lot more, as you can see over here. Now the next step I'll do is decorate the pathway a little bit. So for that, at first I will take the benches and place them over here in an alternate style pattern. The spacing between each bench is totally subjective and how you want it to look. Generally the spacing is a bit more than this, but I like to put it this way. I'm also placing them a little aback from the pathway and not right at the edge, so that it gives a feel like the sitting area is a little more private per se, and you don't have to worry about accidentally tripping someone over if you are stretching your leg or something, you know. Definitely not speaking from experience. After this, we will place some bushes on the sides of pathway. Noting we have some benches, we will leave gaps in front of them. For now, I am starting with long grass, aka wild pink flower bush, which is set at dead stage at negative 0.8 meters of elevation. This is basically as close as you can get to long grass in City Skylines 2. After we have placed this one, we will quickly place some bush variations here too, just so this doesn't feel too boring. Now, after detailing the pathways, we will finish off the boundaries, which I forgot to do before. So for these boundaries, I usually like to use apple tree, both wild bushes, London plane and linden. And I think the best possible age selection for these can be sapling and young, and just place them on the edges. From the outside, you will see the big ones that peep out from the fences, but from the inside, it will look like a nice row of bush lining. And after these small guys, we can place the big ones that include mature or elderly aged oaks, spruce and London plane. Now we move on to the good stuffs for detailing. So over here, I am going to make some outdoor food market area where we will have some food stalls and then some appropriate commercial benches for people to sit and have their food. Then some trash bins in every corner and beside the food stalls, and then remove some bushes beside the pathways to create opening spaces. Now we have some sidewalk thin surfaces here from the Broman 10. I'll place these as our flooring for this place. I want to give it a look that this park is quite old, and at one time this flooring was concrete, but now over time with damages it has been overtaken by the grass growing in between. If you want a more concrete look, then you can basically add another one on top of this, and them overlapping will give you this type of flooring. And lastly, place a few trees in empty spaces. There is another fun way of detailing trees. If you take the same long grass that I showed you and maybe lower it to -1 meter and then place it around the tree trunk, I think it looks neat and fills up the empty space around the tree trunk, and we will do the same thing basically for the entire boundary wall also. Now after all this, we will come to the right side of our outdoor food market area, and here we will place a few kiosks or book stands, and I think some gazebos lined up here, and then a dirt pathway kind of connecting them all, and some dirt decals underneath the gazebos should make this look really good. Then for some open areas, I think having a few small bushes and then some other variations should be enough. And for this little corner, I want to place a wall fountain all lined up, and I think one more thing that could make this much better is some garden beds behind this and some bushes on top of them, just to make it more interesting. Then we will come to this area, and for this one I'll make this into a stage area. So at first placing a stage on the left side, then we'll start placing the camping benches on the sides and then some normal benches throughout the empty space. And just like this, I will go and detail the rest of the spaces. Enjoy a little hyperlapse compilation, and then we will be back to detail this park even more. So the major detailing that is left now is to bring back the lifeless park to life. So there is no simulation attached to the props in City Skylines 2. Sims don't use them, so we are going to place the Sims in these areas that will stand and do their standard idle animation poses, but at least it will look a little bit crowded and it will look lively. So starting with our outdoor food market area and just filling in the gaps with the Sims. One of the reasons we added functional park is also the same, because these custom parks don't get too much sim activity unless you have a park connecting two major places, and sometimes we have to pull these tricks out where we have functional parks that are connected to the rest of the park, so there are chances that people will be using them and then placing sims like this so that it gives more life to the park areas that are totally custom made. And with this we complete our park. Well, sort of. We still need to finish this empty space right here, for which we are going to build a lake over here. It's in a little weird pace to make one, but in the end it will make all sense. So to make lakes, you first of all grab any of the custom brushes you like, then decrease the brush strength and the size, and simply sculpt out the land according to your liking and how deep of a lake you want. Then we can place a water spawner to fill up the lake. I usually like to play safe now, and I like to have the water depth to be around 4 meters below the ground height. And let's just wait for the water to fill up, and you can see how close it got to the top. And now to make this look a bit more professional, I will smoothen the sharp edges, and that will give it a nice smooth look. Now to hide these ugly white sand type of ground that we have, I will place the opaque version of Gaga XM's ground surface relatively closer to the edge, and this will almost blend it nicely in the end. Now one can leave the ground and the lake like this if we had grass in the game, but because we don't, we will use the long grass that I showed you earlier and place it on the edges of the lake all nicely. You can also never go wrong with having some bush variations in between the long grass, as to not have it look boring. And now, because this is just a lake between the park, I'll also place some big bushes and a few trees of different sizes here. And we could also extend the pathways from the picnic area to around the lake and back to the main pathway. I think that will be cool, and top it off with some benches facing the lake, and we are almost over with our build here. The two most important things that are remaining are fallen leaves and lights. So enjoy this little hyperlapse, and I will be back for the final showcase. And welcome to the final showcase, and here is how our whole park is looking. And this is basically our first entrance, then this is our second entrance, and then on the right side we have our third entrance. And for our entrances, at least for the two of the entrances, we have used the main park or the functional parks. So this is a dog activity park, and then second one is just a park cafe, and then third one is basically just a normal entrance that we had made. And after that, we made this outdoor food market area, and you can see how this one looks. We have all the food stalls perfectly lined up, and then we have these benches over here, and then we have all the trash bins near to them, then the lights, and then most importantly the sims themselves. When this was empty, it wasn't looking good, but now if you see, this is actually looking good, and we have sims, and it just feels much more lively. And then on its right, we have our book reading area, outdoor book reading area. So we have a few book stands over here, and then some gazebos where people can sit and just read the books. Then after this, we made our water fountain wall over here. So a bunch of these guys lined up pretty nicely, and then on the back side we had the garden beds and then some bushes that you can see from this angle peeking out. And then we move to the stage area. So over here you can see we have got a stage in the end, and then we have these benches and people are sitting here and enjoying the event that is happening over here. Then beside that, we have some camping grounds. So again, not much is going on over here. We just have a few of these camping benches, and then fireplace, and then again some sims standing there or sitting there enjoying camping. And then we have these long grass underneath them, and in between we have placed the commercial light. And then after this, we made this sort of like volleyball area, a volleyball park over here. So again, two teams on the other side, and then a net over here, and then we have some commercial lights, and then some benches and a umpire's chair over here. And then for the boundary itself, we kind of use the small rocks over here to make a nice boundary. And then on the top we have a picnic area. So again, a lot of picnic blankets here and there with parasols, and then a lot of people hanging out. And then for these, I use the very thin Elgando's netlines, and I think these connects everything really well. And then we come to our small fountain over here. I mean, it is a big fountain, but we have a fountain in the park in this corner over here, and everything kind of like leads to it. And then we come to our lake, which is all detailed up nicely. For the lake itself, we have used a lot of long grass, then some variations and bushes to just make it more lively. And then we have used some bigger trees and some smaller trees just to fill up the lake all nicely. And if you take a look over here, this is how it's looking compared to the whole neighborhood. So I think this is really cool, and how much it blends in with the neighborhood and the community center on the right side. I think this is a perfect way how you can detail your park. If you found this video helpful, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content like these. Join my Patreon, it's the best way to support me, and drop your questions and experiences down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy building.